woodcraft, helping you make woodwork.
A little bit of a rusty film buildup on them. I just take a soft cloth and buff it off, and it actually, you'll see where it, especially on pine, where it's kind of come from a real rusty color to more brown color. Just get that oxidized layer off of there. So dry these off real quick. You see I got really dark on there. All right, so first hand, we're gonna look at pioneer wood on the other side here. And I grabbed a separate brush. This stuff settles. Doesn't say whether you need to mix it up after the fact. I'm just gonna go ahead and mix it there. And give this all a good brushing. And I'll set them up where you guys can see them here in just a moment. I'm gonna just brush half the board so you see the difference between one side and the other.
Does that stuff come in different shades?
As far as I know, it's just this one stuff. If you don't like what it looks like, you can add more. I did do a second coat on the pine. It helped a little bit, but it didn't change a whole lot. Not as drastically as leaving it out. And actually, we'll just go ahead and put some on here. Not as drastically as leaving it out in the weather. I do suggest if you're going to do it on a finished project, use waterproof glue. That's always a good thing, so your project doesn't fall apart on you. All right, so first hand here, it's hard to see what is going on. This might take until it's at least dry to see what happens. I do like the vinegar solution, as it kicks really fast. That's pretty good. So we had the really high concentrated stuff on the one side, and then the 12-hour solution on the other. Pretty cool. Now this is just kind of the first step in aging wood. After this, might come back. I'm going to try and finish up my project. I was hoping it would be done and bring it in. It's not quite gray enough for me yet, so I'm going to let it sit a little longer, finish it off, and then bring it in so you can see how that goes. I'm actually going to do I did the pioneer wood on the outside, so it looked like it's been out in the weather, and then I'm doing the vinegar on the inside, so it just looks a little more aged without being too weathered on the inside. Now, when you are done with this, finish. You want to let the patina mature until you're happy with the color. You can see on the sheets that I gave you, if you want to keep that gray color without changing it or super darkening it up, General Finish is high performance. It's a water-based polyurethane acrylic blend. It's the least darkening of all finishes. They have recently changed it. It does add a little bit of color to the wood, but nothing near as an oil finish or other solvent-based finishes. So interior stuff, the high performance exterior 450. Now the exterior 450 has UV absorbers in it, so definitely make sure that your patina is where you want it to be before you seal it off, as it'll probably be some time before it darkens up anymore from there. Alternatively, you can use traditional finishes, lacquer and oil base. Just know that they're going to darken it up more than what is there. So this is going to take a little while, I think, before it is dry. You are welcome to stick around and see what happens there. So there's the darker solution of the vinegar steel wool and the lighter. The more you put it on there, the darker it's going to get. I had a piece that was, nice kind of red mahogany color. I really liked it. I've tried this on alder. I've got it about the color of walnut now, which was pretty cool. You can sand it because it's not stain You know, it's actually changing the wood fibers there, so you can sand it a bit without it coming out, which is pretty nice. So if it raises the grain a little bit, you can get that knocked down without really taking any color out. Questions on this stuff at all? If you're definitely interested, let us know. We'll see if we get some of this Pioneer wood in. The other stuff, like I said, is just plain white vinegar and steel wool. Works great. Just buy cheap steel wool. Yes?
How deep does it seem to penetrate?
How deep does it seem to penetrate? Well, I will hand this to you and you can kind of look around the edge on there. Penetrates enough. Some of that is slop, some of that is actually penetrating into it. The wetter you make it, the more it's probably going to penetrate on there. More or less just the surface. I do find if it's not raining and you want to mature the patina on there, just wet it, set it outside. Alternatively, if you have a finished project that you're trying to age, wet it and set it outside. Try not to leave it outside overnight or in the rain. Things fall apart. Not fun to put them back together. So, all right. I'm going to let these sit out and dry. You're welcome to come up and take a look. They're vinegary, so if you don't want it on your hands. Yes, Jim?
On the first one here, the darkest one, how long did you let that?
Which one are you? This one here?
No, the solution.
Oh, the solution? Gosh, this has been, this solution has been sitting for several weeks now.
I mean, how long did you have the steel wool?
The steel wool, this one, the steel wool, I just left it in there, and it just eventually dissolved. So it's been in there for a couple weeks at least. This one I put in for 12 hours, and then I took it out, just to have a weaker solution. This one I tested periodically as it was dissolving and it was getting darker. It seems to do the same thing that this one does with less coats. So, you know, you get them in a tube-ish type thing. And the steel wool piece, if you take out on this one, since I only did like a pint, I pulled one of those in half. So I mean, it was only about maybe that big. I don't think there's any specific amount. It just figured when I did this one originally, it was a full quart, so I took one big wad out of there. They come in like a pad. So this one I figured half a wad was fine. Worked out just well. A wad? Yes, I think so. Yeah. You know, I use steel wool quite often in my shop for quite a few different things, so I just bought some 4/0. Typically a little more expensive than the single or double-aught, but for everything else I use, I figured I might as well have the 4/0 sitting around. It's not too often I'm going to be mixing this stuff up. So buy what you have, buy what you use. Makes sense. Cool. Any other questions?
You don't have to neutralize the acid.
Neutralizing the acid. Now that came up at my club meeting the other night. I haven't put any finish on anything that I've been working on yet. I suppose if you wanted to neutralize it, you can hit it with some baking soda. Once it's dry, should be fine. Don't know how it would react with finish, although I did one little tiny spot of finish on this project that I'm working on just to see if it would darken up, and it didn't darken at all. And it didn't seem to do anything else, react any odd ways. Awesome. Thank you all for coming down. If you have more questions, did everybody get one of the flyers? If you didn't, let me know. We can print you some more. And come on down and take a look.
Thank you.
Yep, you are welcome.